Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Take a moment to really reflect on that, because if your soul gets colored by what you dwell on, then so does hers. The real question isn't how do I catch her attention, it's how do I become the man who lives in her mind rent-free, effortlessly. This isn't about gimmicks, it isn't about clever texting tactics. It's about presence and unshakable vibe, a gravity that speaks for itself. And the truth is, when you master these Stoic principles, when you learn to command your own nature, you end up commanding her focus without ever chasing it. So if you're tired of being the one she forgets, if you want her lying awake at night wondering what you're up to, lean in, because by the time you finish this, you won't just understand women, you'll know how to take up space in her thoughts without lifting a finger. 1. Leave her with questions, not explanations. Here's something pulled straight from psychology. What the mind can't resolve, it repeats. If you want her to think about you endlessly, don't give her the whole story. Give her just enough. Mystery isn't manipulation, it's mastery. Most men get this all wrong. They overshare, oversaturate, overexplain, thinking if she knows everything, she'll stay interested. No, she'll get bored. The mind craves unfinished loops, and that's how you become unforgettable. Say less, do more. Show up with depth, but keep part of yourself in reserve. When you're the guy who always has a sly smile, a sharper insight, or a silence that feels deliberate, she'll replay your last moment together like it's a scene from a film. It isn't about being evasive, it's about being intentional. You leave spaces in the conversation, not out of coldness but out of richness. You let her feel there's far more beneath the surface. And the moment she wonders, why did he pause right there? Or what was he thinking? She's already hitting replay in her mind. She can't stop. Because what you offered wasn't only words, it was a lingering impression. As the power of Stoicism, it doesn't shout, it resonates. Leave her mind echoing with curiosity, and you'll stay there long after you've left. 2. Craft an aura of purpose. Nothing is more magnetic than a man with a mission. Here's something you won't often hear. She doesn't secretly want to be the center of your universe. She wants to orbit a man who already has a universe of his own. Purpose is primal. It signals you're not sitting around waiting for love to make you whole. You already are. When you have a mission, every action becomes deliberate. You don't reply to texts out of boredom. You don't rearrange your life to win her approval. You don't feel compelled to explain every move. And she notices. She starts wondering why you're not chasing her like all the others. She feels drawn in not because you're playing games, but because you're too focused to bother. Here's the Stoic twist. Your purpose isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about quietly, relentlessly mastering yourself. Reading, training, building, creating. And the paradox is this. The more you dedicate yourself to something bigger than her, the more she wants to be part of it. So don't talk about your ambitions, let her witness you pursue them. Because once she sees that fire in your eyes, she'll be drawn to its warmth again and again. 3. Master emotional control. Her mind gets addicted to what it can't unsettle. Ever noticed how women obsess over the man who doesn't say much but carries himself like he knows something the world doesn't? That's emotional composure. That's what Stoicism teaches. Here's the hard truth. Women don't lie awake thinking about the guy who spills every feeling onto the floor. They think about the one who can sit in silence like it's a fortress. They're captivated by the man who doesn't flinch when she tests him, who stays steady when she pulls away. It's not about being cold, it's about being unmoved. Most guys think reacting shows they care, but really, it shows they lack self-command. A Stoic doesn't pursue, he observes. He pauses before he speaks. He listens without any urge to prove himself. That stillness, that unhurried quiet is what makes her wonder, what is he thinking? And the moment she starts to wonder, she's already thinking about you more than she intended. If you want to live in her mind, stop giving all of yourself too soon. Let her lean into your silence. Make her earn your energy. Emotional control isn't indifference. It's being the anchor in her storm. Be that, and she will never forget the combination of safety and intrigue you created. 4. Create contrast. Be the calm in her chaos. Here's something most men never grasp. The ones who do, they're unforgettable. Women don't crave calm because they're always calm. They crave it because their lives are usually anything but. She lives surrounded by notifications, group chats, expectations to be perfect, past heartbreaks, and the constant tug-of-war between being strong and staying soft. You are the one space where none of that noise follows her. That's true power. When she's near you, she shouldn't feel the urge to impress or overshare. She should feel an unfamiliar quiet, the kind that makes her breathe easier without realizing why. You don't interrupt, You don't react when she's emotional. You let her storms pass while you stay steady. This isn't passivity, it's anchored presence. You smile when it matters. You listen when she speaks. When she tests you, don't waver. You become something her nervous system isn't used to. Peace. And here's the paradox: once she tastes that stillness, she wants it more. She starts associating you with relief. Like anything addictive, she craves it again and again. You're not the man who reacts, argues, or tries to control. You're the rare one who absorbs, who filters, who knows himself. And for that, you become the safest chaos she ever experienced. She will remember you long after you're gone. 5. Withdraw strategically. Let her miss the silence. Most men overstay, they smother. They think staying constantly present is what keeps them in her thoughts. But desire doesn't work that way. Desire lives in absence. It sharpens in the spaces between. So here's the Stoic move. Pull back while everything is good, not as a tactic to punish her, but as a discipline. You don't chase, you don't double text, you don't check in just to remind her you exist. You let your absence do what your presence already set in motion. Because when your presence is full, grounded, and whole, your absence leaves a resonance. Here's the psychology. The brain remembers emotion far more than events. If the feeling you left her with was calm, intrigue, attraction, and a touch of tension, that's what she replayed. That's what makes her scroll through your messages. That's what makes her look at your stories without reacting. That's what makes her wonder if you're thinking about her too. And even if she never acts on it, you're already in her bloodstream. A man who knows when to step away controls the rhythm. You're not absent, you're simply focused. You're not cold, you're composed. And in that space, she finally sees how much your presence mattered. That's when she thinks about you the most. Let's return to Marcus Aurelius. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When a woman can't stop thinking about you, it's not because of what you said, it's because of who you were. You were the stillness she didn't expect, the mystery she couldn't solve, the quiet she didn't know she needed, the purpose she couldn't interrupt. Now you live in her thoughts like a haunting melody, not loud, but undeniable. So before you send another message or try another line, ask yourself, are you becoming the kind of man who leaves an echo? Are you becoming the man who colors her thoughts just by being himself? If this stirred something deeper in you, if you're committed to becoming unshakable, comment unwritten below, because your story is still unfolding, and you hold the pen. And if you want more on mastering women by first mastering yourself, subscribe to the Stoic Guide, not for tactics, but for transformation. Until next time, stay grounded, stay silent, and let your presence speak louder than any words ever could.